Hi friends, we will see how to create REST web service using Spring Framework and how we can use Swagger UI and embed it with a Jetty server. So let's see what is REST. REST stands for Representational State Transfer. Representational, which means the for data representation, which format we are going to represent the data, such as XML, JSON, XML, YAML file or HTML. Then client possesses the information necessary to identify, modify and or delete a web resource. Using a web resource, we can identify the information or we can modify or we can delete it. The state, which means data. All resource state information is stored on the client. Transfer. Transfer, which means how to carry data between consumer and provider using HTTP protocol. Client state is passed from client to the service through HTTP. We can say the author of REST is Roy Fielding. Let's say HTTP protocol, HTTP request message, HTTP response message. HTTP request prepared by consumer, the response message prepared by provider. Let's see sample format for HTTP request message. This sample format, you can see the sample XML format. We need to pass header content type, application slash XML or JSON, whatever the format you are going to send. You need to bind the content type along with your request. Now we'll see the request message. Generally, there are several methods available, HTTP methods available for REST APIs. We can use get, post, put, delete. For many APIs, generally we will use get, post, put, delete operations. Get for read purpose, post for insert, put for update, delete for delete operations. So if we are using get method, HTTP request message without a body we can send. For post we need the HTTP request message in the body. Content type we have to mention what content type. It may be XML, it may be JSON type. Okay. The accept header also we can mention, because while sending the request, no, maybe the client side, maybe the server side, which we are requesting the data, there may be accept only XML format or JSON format. In that situation, we need to bind our accept header type into our request message. Let's see the sample response message. So if we are using the get operations, HTTP 200 status we will get. This is the sample format. So generally 204 status code means there is no body. 200 status code means we can bind the body, the response message. This is sample format for HTTP status code. 1x related to informational, 2x related to successful, 3x related to redirectional, 4x related to client side error, 5x related to server side error. Sample HTTP codes I have listed here. 200 which means OK, 201 which means created, 400 which means the bad request, 404 not found, 500 which means the internal server error. Let's see Swagger. Swagger is the documentation framework for REST APIs. Swagger has built-in support for REST APIs. Swagger project allows you to describe, produce, visualize, consume your own RESTful web service. There is no need proxy or third-party service. We can do it our own way. Swagger UI is a dependency. It's a free collection of HTML, JavaScript, and CSS assets that dynamically generate the documentation. We can include Swagger UI dependency in our Maven project. I have marked down. You can see here this sample library for Swagger. Let's see some annotations, Swagger core annotations. At API, to declare the Swagger resource API, API implicit param, API implicit params, API model, which provide additional information about Swagger models, then model properties, adds and manipulates the data of the model properties, then operations, then API param, then API responses, authorization scope. This is the sample code for a REST API using Spring Framework with Swagger. You can see here the path annotations, the people here given, then at API, then people, the description of the your resource, I mean the API. Then we can here you can see the producers. So what format we are going to produce the data, JSON format, then get operations, then API operation. You can see what API is going to do. We are going to list out all the people list. Then we have get people method, collection method, that query param, API param we are passing here. There are two things. The other one is get call. Based on the email ID, we can get the people. Get by email ID, get peoples. There are two services written here. Then some more example, you can see how to add the people. So for post operations, here you can see the post operations. So here you can see the response. So once you posted, so person created successfully 201. So 409, which means a person with there is no I mean, if you are going to create one more record, the record is already exist means, so 409 error we can throw it. This sample format for get post then put to update, we can update the existing user. This sample code for REST API using Swagger and Spring. This is for delete operations. We can delete people, I mean the person, based on the email ID. So this is the interface for our applications. You can see we have a resource called people, which means we are going to manage the people resource. So there are 5 APIs: get API, put API, delete API, get API, post API. So this is sample interface for REST API using Swagger. You can see I'm going to create the new people. The post APIs, I'm going to send my email ID, my name, last name, going to create. So once created, we are getting the response code of 201. For a get operation, based on the email ID, try it, we can get the information which is created recently, the success code. The HTTP code is 200. Now go to conclusions. JAX-RS is a flexible API for providing scalable web service. Swagger UI and Spring and Java Stack integrate to make developing configuring REST service is very easy. So I have code for these applications. You can go to the GitHub, the following path, you can download it. Links, I have sample links here where I referred.